Hello everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I thought we would start the week off with what I consider the five top mistakes on the raw vegan lifestyle. I'm going to get into these. Now, they're sort of in no particular order, but I will kind of tell you which ones I really think are maybe the most important. But there's a lot of different mistakes out there and what have you. So, these are just the ones that I consider the top five mistakes. You might be able to identify mistakes in yourself. What are your mistakes? Once again, I'll repeat myself. You guys love me just repeating myself over and over. Life is problem solving. That's all life is. Repeat after me. Life is problem solving. Food, whatever aspect it is. So you just need to look back. You look back at what hasn't worked for you, what your problems have been, you correct those, and you move forward. Very easy. It's not terribly complicated, is it? All right. Now the first one I'm going to say, and I do think this is the biggest mistake, so I would almost put this number one on my list, is not eating enough. I think basically almost like probably at least 65 to 70%, maybe higher, I don't know, I'm just throwing numbers out there, of people I see struggling, problems I see in the high carb raw vegan world is a simple case of people not eating enough. And that's fairly common when you first come to this lifestyle because you kind of got to learn how, it's a different mentality. You know, if you've ever tried to lose weight or be healthy, in the past we always associated losing weight with restricting. On the high carb vegan lifestyle, we need to eat. We've got to eat a lot to get adequate calories to fill ourselves up. So the number one mistake people make is just simply not eating enough. You've got to figure out, how many calories your body needs, not how much mine needs or anybody else, but how much yours needs, depend on your size, how old you are, your activity level, different issues like this. But bad things happen when you don't eat enough. Because when you get hungry, the mind starts wandering, and when you get hungry, the cravings start popping up. So if you will keep yourself satiated, you will keep yourself full and eat, good meals. I'm not talking about stuffing food in. That is going to be one of the biggest things you can do for yourself right there. Maybe number two, like I say, I'm just kind of playing loosely with the order of these, but closest second is being unprepared. Is getting in those situations, especially as someone new to this lifestyle. If you've been doing the lifestyle for a while, sometimes you can be unprepared and you can deal with it because you learn with tricks, or either your body's kind of adjusted and it's not reacting all the time to every little pang of hunger. But for people that are new to this lifestyle, being unprepared can be disastrous, especially if being unprepared has a tendency to lead to poor choices. In other words, if you're unprepared at work and you have those vending machines right down the hall, or you're unprepared somewhere and there's going to be candy bars, donuts around, or you live in a household with other people, so whatever the situation is, you have to have healthy alternatives around you all the time. It's simple as that. Don't have to explain that very much. You have to have healthy alternatives and food around you all the time. Just trust me on that one. The next one, and now I'll say I don't know where like those two, I would say, yeah, those were the most important. The next three, they're kind of just whatever order, I guess. The third one I'll talk about is not transitioning properly. And when I talk about not transitioning properly, I'm generally talking about biting off too much too soon. It's people that want to go, they're excited, they want to go to a high raw, or they want to go to the top of the top, and it's too much for them in the beginning. Their bodies, depending on where they're coming from, they're getting toxins out of their body. They're stirring up all kind of toxins in their body, getting them in their bloodstream, and it's going to be too much too soon for most people. You're going to have a more realistic shot, a better shot of thriving on this lifestyle if you transition yourself properly. Now, there's exceptions out there, but I don't deal in exceptions. I'm not a big person in dealing with exceptions. There's always somebody that says they went raw vegan, boom, low-fat raw vegan from the very beginning, and they were able to do it. If you can do that, good for you. I would not argue with you in a bit. Most people cannot do that. The large majority of people cannot do that. So it's going to be very important that you transition yourself properly during in the beginning. I've got you can check through my channel. I put together a playlist of my transition videos, but basically it's about knowing how and when to move forward, because everybody has to transitions at a different pace because we're different people. But you don't get too far ahead of yourself. Don't get too excited on this and move forward, only have to take a bunch of steps back and go forward again. Just try to be constantly moving forward all the time. The next one, let's see which one we'll talk about, blah, 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 blah. The next one we'll talk about next is high fat, or getting comfortable with the gourmet food on a raw vegan lifestyle. Now, when I say this, let me qualify this. In the beginning, on a raw vegan lifestyle, most likely you're going to eat, you're coming from a lot of people are coming from a very sad diet, not just a sad standard American diet, but a very sad diet. So that's part of the transition. And part of the transition, in my opinion, just in my belief, is you are going to be higher fat in the beginning than say what I am now, or say what I was 6 months, a year ago. It is a little bit easier to transition, to get used to this lifestyle without going immediately to low fat, ultra low fat. But, and the gourmet, sometimes people get a little touchy, they're a little sensitive about the gourmet when you mention the gourmet. There's nothing wrong with having gourmet raw vegan food, in my opinion. That's what I believe. But even in the beginning, even when you're transitioning, when you're new to this lifestyle, what I'm trying to say is don't get dependent. Don't get too comfortable with that gourmet raw vegan food. I never really had the access. Like some of that food that you see that I share when I go to San Jose, I mean, that's about as gourmet as it gets. And if you really look at it, there's probably a little bit of oil in there, but we're not talking heavy nuts. We're not talking, a lot of just stuff that's going to pull you down. So I didn't really even have access. Other than that place, that's as gourmet as it got, my little restaurant in San Jose. So I didn't have access to the gourmet in the beginning. But I was of the mindset always from the beginning, just by hearing about this gourmet vegan food, that it was something more for a special occasion. It's not something that you're just pounding down. You're not going to a raw vegan cafe every night and eating off the menu. But every once in a while, it's okay. And in the beginning, you're going to be higher fat. Just don't get used to just don't get used to the bags of nuts, the huge handfuls of nuts, cramming large amounts of fat into your body. It just does not. That's just a big mistake, real big mistake. And last but not least is, don't be so one of the last mistakes I'm seeing is people that are so dogmatic and not having an open mind. And this can also kind of, this isn't a separate one making it 6, but it's also based on the people. Like, people can tend to grab on to somebody. They've got somebody they follow in YouTube or social media or whatever, and they don't keep an open mind. This is just their person. This is who they listen to. Whatever this person could tell them to get down on their knees and just eat dirt out of the ground, they'd do it. You have to put in the time for yourself. You have to have an open mind. You have to experiment. And just when you get caught up in the dogma, I just see so many people caught up in this particular label: high carb raw vegan till I die, fruitarian till I die. You're this, you're that. Everybody's pulling you this way. You want to get your label. You want to be part of a group, but keep your mind open. I can change at any time. I don't give a damn about any of these little sectarian places and people and forums and whatever. My mind, I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly trying to learn more. I can change at any moment. So try to be the same. Experiment with yourself. Keep your mind open. Watch people you don't necessarily agree with. Watch people that you don't. Who cares if you don't agree with everything they say? You can take things. I watch people I disagree with 75% of what they say, but I still get stuff from them. So your process. Just keep an open mind during your process and be responsible for this too. Don't just like grab onto somebody on YouTube and like you're not even doing any research on your own, you're not experimenting with yourself, you're not trying things, you're just basically letting them do all the work for you. This is fun to figure this stuff out. I've had a blast figuring out what works for me. And I can't put my finger on anybody out there that's doing it like I'm doing it, because nobody's me. Because I put my time in and I figured how to do it for me. I figured what works for me. I figured what my needs are. Do the same for yourself. It's fun figuring this stuff out. Anyhow, hope that might help a little bit. If y'all like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and please share this one, because you know, there might be other raw vegans out there that are making some mistakes, having some problems, wondering, you know, why is this not working for me? So, all about sharing. Anyhow, I hope you guys had a great weekend, and the new week is really good for you. I'm just riding a heat wave down here. It's just hot. So pretty much I just get up and sweat, get some sun, work out, eat some fruit, drink some juice, and try to stay cool every day. So anyhow, love you guys. Peace.